We're coming to you live for the Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are on the free Odyssey app. Good Friday morning. A feel-good football Friday. A feel-good Christmas Friday. A feel-good holiday Friday. A feel-good day before vacation Friday. It is here. And we're going to have a fun one today. A couple of feel-good Friday type things coming up. Later in the show, we will tell you about a couple of heartwarming things we will be doing today, and we'll also be talking sports and making sophomoric jokes and talking some NFL as well. And last night, it was a really entertaining football game. I was with you. I agreed. You said low-scoring game is going to be a slobber knocker. I said absolutely. Didn't turn out to be that way with a couple of AFC West teams, and we're going to have a big slate starting. Well, it started last night, but then we got games tomorrow. We got a game tomorrow, full Sunday slate, then Monday as well. So this is it. Buckle up. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, I did pick the Chargers to win, but I thought it was going to be on the under.
Yeah.
But I guess a flex Thursday night, guys, don't really want to tackle. I guess that's what it comes down to, and it was a really important second half for Jim Harbaugh and, of course, his Chargers. Now, the interesting thing that came out of last night's game is that the Bengals now have a path to the playoffs.
The Bengals!
All right, so this is what has to happen if the Bengals are going to make the playoffs, and I think they would have to overtake the Chargers. And the way they have to do that is they have to win this weekend against the Browns, and then next week they play the Broncos. I mean, they'd have to overtake the Broncos.
Yes.
And then next week they play the Broncos. They'd have to beat the Broncos. And then going into the last week of the season, the Bengals would be 8-8. The Broncos would be 9-7. The Broncos play the Chiefs. The Bengals play the Steelers. If the Bengals beat the Steelers and the Broncos lose to the Chiefs, the Bengals would get the number 7 seed in the AFC.
And that's, you know what they say? Team you don't want to play.
Well, yeah, I would say, yeah, you don't
Team
want
you don't want to play.
Unless you're the opposing quarterback.
Well, that's true, because they put up a million points.
Huge numbers. But I also would say this, that, there's always – it's 17 games, and it would be amazing if the Bengals actually made it. Given what they've been through and how they have played.
Well, they've been dead and buried 4 times already.
It's unbelievable. So they do have a chance, and that chance will live as long as they beat the Browns this Sunday. They beat the Browns, then they play the Broncos. So it will live until they play the Broncos.
Right. So I don't know exactly what happened there. I've been following the quarterback situation much in Cleveland outside of Jameis Winston's.
Dorian Thompson.
Yeah.
Robinson.
So I was just going to say. So they got a hyphenated guy in there this week.
They're just throwing guys out there.
Yeah. I mean,
there's
there's never been a good hyphenated quarterback ever. Right. There's never been a guy who's had hyphens in his name who's played well at the quarterback position. Never.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
It's just not going to happen. It's just one of those things. Like if you come into the league with a hyphen, like you got to be really good to be remembered. I can't. Who's the best hyphen player? I can't even tell you. Is it the guy like Josh Hines Allen now, who had to put a hyphen into Hines Allen to be separated from Josh Allen? Josh Allen could be him.
Huh?
Maurice Jones-Drew. Actually, he probably is it. He's probably it. But the point is that if you're playing against a guy with a hyphen in his last at quarterback, you're winning. You're killing him. That guy's going to stink.
Well, he was still Cleveland and Cincinnati, and you never know about those games. Believe me, I was in those games on both sides of it.
Oh, yeah.
The favorite getting beat or the underdog winning. So I know that's a little bit more intense. But, again, late in the season, long season, the Bengals probably feel like, when they go to work today that they got a chance. They're sitting there watching this game last night knowing exactly what had to happen in order for them. And then, of course, at halftime, you have the free kick right there by the Chargers, which, we don't see very often. The last one, I think, was 1976.
Yeah, so right before halftime, it was a 57-yard field goal.
Yeah, from the 47-yard which was the line of scrimmage because it was a penalty. So
right,
there was
off a tee.
Right.
I mean,
it wasn't off a tee. He
did hold it. He did hold it. Okay, all right. He did hold it. Yeah,
and it's from the line of scrimmage.
It's crazy.
I think Al Michaels initially thought that they had to line up in field goal formation.
They didn't have
and
to.
They had 7 yards. No, it's a free kick. It's a wide open free kick, and it's a play that actually you practice. I remember practicing it pretty much 12 out of the 14 years that I played. We practiced it.
Yeah, and you wonder how many more field goals would be made if you could just do that with no snap and no rush and just guys just kicking. Because, when we talk about, he was making it from 70 yards in warm-ups. Okay, warm-ups.
A free kick right there. That would, if you had, like, the kid that kicks for Dallas.
Yeah, Aubrey,
you could probably do it from your own 40-yard line with him.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, well, indoors especially.
Yes.
I mean, that was a weird one.
It was an amazing thing to watch last night. And the other amazing thing to watch last night, I'm telling you, this Karl-Anthony Towns went off last night.
Yeah, I mean, that was, of course, you got DiVincenzo and Randall on the storyline and Karl-Anthony Towns and this team.
Karl-Anthony Towns didn't miss a 3-point shot last night.
It was a laugher. It was a laugher. They beat him up. Of course, it wouldn't have meant much if you had like a Timberwolves win and people would have maybe made a big deal out of it. If you're a Nets fan or a Celtics fan, would have laughed at the Knicks. The Knicks did the exact opposite of that. I mean, they wiped the floor with that team, and Towns was the star. I mean, and there's really there's nothing about the Knicks that scares me outside of health at this point. Like, I know they'll be a better defensive team in the postseason. They're going to score. It's just staying healthy.
Well,
that's really it.
They'll get Mitchell Robinson back in January. You see who started last night?
Yeah, I know. Precious.
Yeah,
I know. Listen.
When you need an uptick, you need a little attitude adjustment. Throw Precious Achiuwa out.
He's like
there.
smelling salts.
I'm telling you,
in a way. Get your senses going. Get you going.
I'm all about that, man.
You know what I'm loving?
Starts. What?
You know what's going on right now?
What's going on?
I see. I know exactly what's going on.
What's going on?
Fleegs. Al probably doesn't know what's going on, but Fleegs probably knows what's going on. You know what's going on here? Yeah. If you know Boomer, you know what's going on. He is discarding the Rangers, and he's focusing on the Knicks.
I will never discard the Rangers.
But all right,
I will
not your fandom, but this year you're now saying, hey, you know what? We stink. We don't have a shot. Now I'm going to move my attention to the good team in the Garden. That's what's going on here.
I've been paying attention to the good team. I've been paying attention to the Knicks. Of course I have been.
I know you've been paying attention, but just a little bit more now.
I will tell you this. If there's a Ranger game and a Knick game on at the same time, I'm watching the Ranger game. No matter what. No matter what.
You're starting to transition, though.
No, I'm not transitioning to anything.
You're starting to transition.
Hey, Al, don't be shaking your head like you're agreeing with him.
He's transitioning.
Right, we're starting to see some clothes in your closets a little. You're transitioning.
I don't think I've transitioned into anything.
Well, I'll tell you, this is the first time I can remember that you did a sharp turn from football to the Knicks in the Open. It's usually a sharp turn from football to the Rangers.
No, I had to because last night was important. I mean, last night was an important game. Going back against Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, I wanted to see that.
It's okay.
You're allowed. Fine. Stop.
You're allowed to come on over.
You got to stop accusing me of something that's not happening.
I'm telling you, I mean, I was like, another thing that was going to happen. I was like, here we go with Kako and the Kraken. I thought you were going to go back to that. And you went Karl-Anthony Towns. I was like, what do we got here?
Kako and the Kraken are in the rearview mirror.
He said, so are the Rangers this year because we got the Knicks now. That's what's going on. I mean, it's sort of like, when I talk about being activated as a Vikings fan, like you're getting activated as a Knicks fan. You are.
I have been activated since last year, and when they brought in Jalen Brunson, or was that two? That was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they finally started making some of the right decisions, and legitimately, Karl-Anthony Towns could be in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, he's played.
He's ridiculous.
He's played that well.
Last night, he didn't miss a 3-point attempt. He was 5 for 5 last night.
He went back home and showed up and showed out.
I think the Knicks should play all their games up there.
Yeah,
he's going to shoot like that.
Man, I'm telling you, if it weren't for the Knicks, I'd be just about with everybody else and not paying attention to the NBA. But since they're good and since they have a shot, like I'm into them. I couldn't sit there. Like I won't sit there and watch any out-of-market basketball games, but
they're unwatchable.
Exactly. But when your team's good, this is the whole point about every time we talk about these commissioners and trying to tweak the game and in the NBA Cup and blah, 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 and the golden at-bat rule. The thing that gets people to the TVs is your local market having a chance. And sometimes that waters down the whole product. Like the parity in the NFL, and you feel like maybe there isn't a great team like there used to be, but there's a lot more teams that have a chance.
You know what I think they should do? I think they should remove the 3-point line.
Oh, here we go.
For the first 3. What do you mean, here we go?
You need rule changes now? You're doing that?
3-point line for the first 3 quarters of the game. And then reinstate it in the fourth quarter. How's that?
Yeah, I was thinking about getting rid of the backboard. What do you think about that? Just totally get rid of the backboard.
I mean, the three-point shot has ruined the game. And I can't tell you how many guys I've listened to in interviews talking about how the analytics guy, it's not even a coach. An analytics guy comes up to a guy in practice and says, you just got to keep shooting those threes. You just got to keep shooting those threes. Don't back off those threes.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's maddening.
It's like the home run in baseball and the uppercut swing and launch angle and all of that stuff. It's the same thing. It's
I
the
don't
same
know
deal.
if it's the same thing. I kind of feel like, the batter has got to hit the pitch. There's another person involved. If these guys come down, nobody's playing defense, and they're just hoisting up threes.
Well, it's the same thing in the sense from the analytics standpoint where people are like, listen, the home run, we got to get the home run. You get that ball out, and that changes everything. And when we hit X amount of home runs, we win X amount of games. So change your swing so you have a better chance of hitting a home run. Analytics people in basketball.
Are you okay?
I had to burp.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm good now.
All right.
They're like, hey, 3-pointers. Three's more than two. You make a bunch of threes, we win games.
I know.
That's what happens.
It's brutal, man.
Yeah, it is brutal. But you're with the Knicks now.
I am because
You're
they're
right
winning.
there. Yep, because they're winning.
Hey, and Karl-Anthony Towns actually didn't miss any three-point shots.
No, he did not. As you pointed out, it's been fun. It's been any fears that anybody had as Knicks fans he was going to come in here and change the attitude of the team or the softness label that he had been labeled with for a very long time. We've seen none of that so far. None of it. So it's a great thing.
I think it's a fantastic thing that we legitimately have. I mean, he and OG and Brunson are supposed to be difference makers, and all three are.
Yeah.
I mean, all three are. They're all paid to be difference makers.
Yeah, and good thing because we won't have the Rangers in the playoffs. We'll be able to talk about the Knicks in the spring.
All right, so we got about 50 games left to go. I mean, I think you just need to calm down. I mean, I'm upset.
I mean, nobody is torpedoing their way to the bottom of the standings like the New York Rangers are.
I am as upset as any other Ranger fan out there about what the hell we have witnessed over the last 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And there's a million reasons why this happened. And, there's one person who controls the entire franchise. That's the general manager who may be being told what to do by the ownership of the Garden again. I don't know. But, this thing has been mismanaged into like an oblivion right now.
Yeah, so when they're out, you'll have the Knicks, which is good because many years when the Rangers were down, you didn't have the Knicks, and now you have the Knicks when they're missing the playoffs.
I had season tickets when I got the letter. We're trading this one. We're trading that one. We're moving on, and all of those guys that we traded went on to win Stanley Cups.
Maggie Gray came into my office this morning. She does Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network, and she came in with a little thing. It's actually right here.
Biscottis.
A bag of biscottis.
Yeah, I've already had 4 of them.
You ever had 4 of these things?
I've already had 4 of them.
Are they homemade?
Yeah, I think they are.
She said to me, I've been accused of only kissing Boomer's ass, so I wanted to give you this as well.
She said that?
She said exactly that.
Well, who was accusing her of that?
I don't know.
I'm not accusing her of that.
No.
I've never heard that.
Well, she has heard it, apparently. She said,
"Can we get her in here and find out exactly what she's talking about and where she's heard that from?"
She's doing her own show.
Yeah, but you can't accuse.
She said that she's been accused of only kissing your ass, and I felt like I thought it was funny, and I laughed, but then I was also like, so I'm getting cookies to help your reputation. You're not even actually giving them to me out of the goodness of your own heart. I'm just getting cookies to boost up your value in the eyes of others.
Now, Amy gives me cookies.
Yeah. Huh?
Amy gives me cookies.
Oh, does she? Yeah, Fleegs was telling me selfish. It is selfish on Amy's part. I mean, Maggie's part. See, yeah, Amy gives you cookies. I don't get cookies from Amy. I don't get anything. I don't even get a hello from Amy.
I get Ulikaka cookies. I get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you do. But so those people that are giving you those things, they might be getting accused in their own circles of only kissing your ass. And Maggie had enough of it.
That is ridiculous.
Maggie had enough.
I don't take it as that, just so you know. I'm very appreciative of the gift and the thought behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not.
I don't think about, what does she gain by kissing my ass?
If anything, there's a perceived power at the radio station and in the building.
You guys that is just horse. You know what I'm saying? It's just total horse.
Well, I'm just saying that's what they're thinking. Like, hey, if anything
You
goes
guys
down,
are like-
maybe I'll be on Boomer's good side.
Yeah, but Boomer doesn't control anything. You guys are acting like I'm Aaron Rodgers running around here.
I'm not acting like it. I'm just saying obviously, it's in people's heads. The Amy and Maggie and
No,
others.
you know what it is? It's just like they're all nice people, and they like to do nice things, and I seem to be the bearer of those things, and I'm
More
very,
than
very
others.
fortunate.
More than others.
Well, whatever. I mean, it sounds like you're jealous.
No, I'm not jealous. The only thing that I'm upset about was the fact that she only gave me cookies to help her perception. I didn't like that. I would have liked the cookies. Hey, I wanted to give you cookies.
Did you tell her that?
I didn't, because in the moment I was laughing at her joke, and then as she left, I began to process, and I said, "Wait a second, this is not good. I'm being used here. I'm being used like the Yamamoto's agent used Steve Cohen last offseason."
Well, if you're being used, at least you got something out of it.
I did, and they're good, Biscotti.
Yes, they're very good.
What are the red ones? Is that red dye? Can't have red dye. Is that red dye 40 in here?
I don't know what the red dye is.
Did you have a red one?
I did not have a red one. I had the other ones, the clear ones or the white ones.
The clear ones. The clear ones with is there walnuts in those? I don't know.
I'm just telling you, man. Get yourself a cup of coffee, dip yourself a biscotti, and be
I
a
already
happy
did-
person.
I already did
Shut
that.
the hell up.
I already did that.
And
Not
just
with the
be
biscotti, but another cookie.
Be happy that it's holiday time.
I've been dipping lots of cookies and coffees, lots of breads and sauces. It's eating season. That's what I do.
I know it is.
I'm going to sop up this liquid with this carb, and we're going to have a great time tonight. That's what's been going on. All right, it's a Feel Good Football Friday on the Fan and CBS Sports Network.